What even is a good website design? When we talk about this is a good website, this is a bad website, why does it even matter? And what factors can we use to actually determine if a website has good design, is good design, or is not good design? Now, in this video, we're gonna go over 4 completely individual, random, different websites and go over every single one of them. And I'm going to explain to you some of the key factors that I look out for when I'm looking at sites and judging sites, and why I consider these sites specifically to be good in design. Now let's get into it. Now, Neverland.agency is an agency website, and it has a complex animation that as you scroll down or as you try to scroll up and down, it plays the animation and you have full control of the capability of that animation. Now, I'm going to explain to you guys why this is good design in my opinion. Now you can see that this site did win Site of the Day, and most of these sites did win an award and are coveted as a good design. But I want to explain to you guys a few key factors here that I think make this website good design compared to the very complex and difficult looking animation that we see here, that we see in the intro. And it's very easy to try to reach this good design standard even as a beginner. Now for me, when we take a look at a website and when we actually want to think about, is this a good website? Does this website have good design? It's easy to get lost in the sauce. Now, I like to compare Dribbble designs for this. When we look at examples that we see on Dribbble, like we have in front of me right now on the web design tab, we can see that there is a lot of pretty designs, but we don't actually know if this design here, for example, would be great at completing a task that needed to be done. So for example, maybe the task that we needed to do was to ensure that people signed up to our website or people signed up to our NFT collection. But who knows if this design would actually work for that? You know, what is the actual point of this design? What is the actual point of this entire build, this very dramatic hero design right here? So when we try to look at websites like the one in front of us and try to judge it, does this work? Is this a good website? The very first thing that you need to ask yourself is, what is the actual purpose of the website that we're looking at? What is the actual point of what we're doing? And when we try to boil it down to a single point, whether it's I want to gain leads, I want to increase signups, I want to make sure that people understand my story, I want people to look at my portfolio, my gallery, whatever the point is, it needs to have a point. And as we can see in this agency, they want to explain to us what they do, what their 3 main pillars are. So we have brand communication, we have experiential design, and then content strategy. Now within those 3 pillars, we have everything that wraps around that. So we have this text that has this experience animation, and as we scroll down further, it takes us into the footer. But all of that is extra. Apart from everything that we just saw, the main pillars, the main important part is what would decide if it's a good website or not, because it doesn't matter all of this fluff, even though we're talking about it right now. If it doesn't reach the point that you want it to, if it doesn't create more leads for this person's agency, well then it doesn't matter how fancy the design is. It doesn't matter how fancy the animation is. Now, apart from that, I do think that it's also a good design because of the way that they use typography and hierarchy in this website, and the way that they also use the contrast within their colors. They have very obvious contrast colors here, and it's very easy to understand what the website is and what they're trying to talk about. So that's always going to be the very first point of a website. Does it match what you want it to? Does it actually complete the task that you designed it for? And that'll take us on to the next one here, which is Custo.io. So Custo is essentially a smart mailbox that you can buy, and people can deliver packages when you're not home. That's the essence of it. And so when we have the notion of what the website already is, it's easier for us to understand what the website is supposed to be, right? When we understand what the product is, then everything else around it becomes very obvious to us. But if you looked at this right from the beginning, would you understand what this problem was solving? Well, probably not unless you read this text, but the imagery behind it doesn't necessarily tell us that this is a mailbox that is receiving packages or anything like that. But when you scroll down and when you actually try to understand more about it, we see that there's more text and imagery here that tries to explain what their mission is, what their entire product is about. Now, it's okay that it's not directly in the hero, because odds are that you will want to try to scroll because of how attractive this website is and how well the type is laid out and the colors and the actual direction of it. So you will understand more about what the product is depending on what the design is looking in the hero. So depending on what you want your website to do, for this case, whether it's getting people to buy the pre-order of this product or just getting people to understand what your product is about, what this new technology does, I think that this is a great website to actually get people to want to learn more. You know, you have a product that It might look boring or not, that's up to you to decide, but the website around it actually helps you want to understand more about the product. So in this case, the website isn't the product itself. It's not necessarily a software that you're selling. It's a physical product. And in this case, the website is selling it for you. You know, you have the physical product itself, but without this website, without having an experience around it, it would be much harder to do that. It would be much harder to get people to feel excited about the product if you don't have the nice bow around it or the nice packaging. And in this case, that is the packaging. Now, next up, we have tiltongroup.com. Now, this website has similar features to what I've just talked about. So having the actual website sell the product is extremely vital nowadays, especially when everybody wants to have the best website possible. Now, when we scroll down, we see that there is this animation and there is this huge deal about their product, and they're trying to make it as big as the deal as possible with this website, with all these crazy animations. And that is helpful in this case. And I'm not saying that every single website needs to do that, because I also think that a lot of times this can be overkill, but having this type of animation, having this type of experience will help you solve the problem in the long run. Now, I want to answer the question that I gave you guys in the beginning of the video, which is what makes a good website design? What completes a good website design? You know, you're working with a client and they say, how can you make this a good design? What are the features that we can look for? Well, if you want to reach a certain goal, it's much easier to be able to complete that check, right? This is a good design. This is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And in this case, good design means that people understand what your product is, and you can have a way to communicate that through new users or already customers that have bought before. So if you want your potential new customers to understand what your product is, why they should even care, it's not a bad idea to put this much effort and thought into a simple animation like this that pops up and helps you understand what the product is about. It makes it easier to read this and makes it easier for people to maybe click on this video. It gives them more reason to want to learn about your product, if that makes any sense. Now, next up, we have a completely different type of website, and this is a website for a translator, a editor, and a quality controller, as you can read here right in front of us. And the cool thing about this website, and the reason why I wanted to showcase it, is because it's completely different from the past 3 websites that we've taken a look at here. A lot of these have some crazy animation going on, some crazy scroll features, just like we have here with these 2, and then also a lot of imagery that is helping us talk about the story and talk about what we want to do. But in this case, all we have to sell the story and to sell what we want to do is 2 very important things. Number 1 is going to be color, and number 2 is going to be very great typography, hierarchy, all of that. So I'm going to scroll down here and you'll see exactly what I mean. There is nothing else in this website other than what you see in front of you right here. It's text and a few hints of contrast here with a red color, but there's very, very few things going on here. It's text that explains what this person does, who they are, where they're from, and what services they're trying to sell. So this is a great website in my opinion, but it's completely different from the other ones. But again, if it does exactly what you want it to do, if it does exactly what the intention is, whether that's gaining leads, gaining more customers, selling more, converting signups, whatever it is, I think that's a great design. And I think that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you have some crazy animation. It doesn't matter if you've hired a 3D designer to create a glass bowl for you so that you can add it to your animation. I don't think that necessarily matters, as long as the quality is invested and that the quality is trying to sell something and the website is trying to explain something, and it does it positively as we have here. Now, another great note here is that if we do click on French, it does change the color and it does update the website. So that's also a plus. And if we scroll through, it's the exact same thing except with a purple background, and then the red is still a prominent feature. So this has been a smaller, faster video than usual, but we've taken a look at 4 completely different websites here, and I've tried to explain a little bit about what makes good design on websites and what you need to look out for when you're getting inspiration and when you're trying to understand if something is a good design or not. And these are important cues to pick up, especially when you're learning and especially when you're still a beginner, because it'll help you understand further down the line what makes a good design and what doesn't. And it'll try to blind you a little bit from all of the very fancy schmancy designs that you'll see on Dribbble and Behance, Pinterest, all of that. And maybe with good design, you'll be able to focus yourself a little bit more on key metrics that will help you sell more and help you get better clients. So you can explain, this is why this works, this is why this is a good design, because it'll help you do this and this and this and this, rather than saying, I like purple, you like red, I don't know who's right because in my opinion, design is opinionated, blah, blah, blah. That's not what this is about. It's about being able to explain your thoughts and your reasonings And this is what these websites do. So if you guys enjoyed this video, then please do leave a like, subscribe, do all those good things, and I'll leave all the links to the websites down below so you guys can check them out yourselves. If you guys did enjoy this video, then do let me know as well, and let me know if you want to see any other type of videos or something similar to this or something completely different, and I'll try to reply to your comments, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.